Well, hello.
Welcome, bonjour.
Bonjour, por favor.
Hola.
We created a new channel just because I don't like just posting everything on my channel because Harker doesn't post anything. He never posts anything. So I decided to just make a channel where me and him can just post whatever we want, and it's not gonna go on whose channel. I'm just gonna make one for everybody. So for further ado, we are doing an assumptions video.
And before we get into the lovely assumptions video, something that she forgets to mention is be sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the post notifications on if you really like the video. If you just thoroughly enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up if you want. And then lastly, if you really like the video, like you just love it, drop a comment to what you guys want to see. Drop some comments for further videos that y'all want to see. But we figured that we'll do the assumptions video as our first one, just because there's a lot out there and some of them are kind of funny. So I figured we just address them all and kind of talk about it, because this is kind of a unique situation.
No, it's not.
It's a unique situation.
No, it's not.
Assumption number uno. Recent one that I saw was, apparently I cut my hair because Leah told me to. Yeah, I know. Yes. So this was floated out there that I cut my hair because apparently I couldn't be with you unless I cut my hair.
No, I had saw it. It was like people were like, "Oh, you cut your hair because you're with that black girl, and like she made you cut your hair, and now you're not a Sikh man anymore, and like she made you." I didn't tell you shit. You're a grown man. You were a grown man individual. I personally don't even know why you cut your hair.
The crazy thing is, I have a YouTube channel too, you guys. I don't know if you know. We'll drop it in there. You want to follow that one too? Go ahead, follow that one. I gotta do my own little adventures on there too. But I literally had a whole video that said why I cut my hair, and I've said time and time again. The only thing that always scared me was the fear of me having a receding hairline, because I know a lot of brothers out there, a lot of Punjabi brothers out there that know that the hairline starts to get pushed back, the tighter and tighter the Judy goes back.
No, I feel like you never saw your forehead, so you always thought that it was really big. When you have your forehead covered for so long and you have a turban on, or what is it called, a guti or whatever, and then you take it off, all of a sudden it's like, damn, it's covered all day, and then I take it off and I see this big forehead. But like when I would see his forehead, I'd always tell him like, your forehead's not that big. It's really not big at all. And he has like a really nice...
I got a nice hairline, boy. Jalen Rose, man. I'm Jalen Rose with the haircut.
And he has a really nice hairline, so I was always like, what are you... So I was like, what are you so scared of? Like, what is the fear of you cutting your hair? But then he'd always be like, I don't know what I would look like with short hair, which I understand, but you gotta try.
Yeah, so I just said, just go for it. It was like, if anything I could grow back. And this whole idea of, I lost my religion, that is just a whole can of other worms. You can be religious and still have a haircut, from my understanding. I didn't get disowned by my religion.
Yeah, there's plenty of y'all that got
I still follow it.
Hair.
I still practice it. There's plenty of individuals who cut their hair and still practice it key. I'm one of them as well. I'm not any different. And some of them in the comment, just FYI, if you line up your beard, that's the equivalent to cutting your hair. So if you really want to get technical, that kicks out a lot of y'all out of Sikhi. So I don't think that's a valid argument. So the assumption that I cut my hair because of her, you have those little buttons like, no, it's not right. Shall we move on to assumption number 2?
Number 2, his parents kicked him out because he had a black baby.
A black baby. Again, a very interesting one. I can see how that can very easily get drawn up, just because most of the people had this interpretation of how that story would go down if it were ever if a brown boy knocked up a black girl, and how that would go.
All right, that's enough.
How that would go. My parents did not kick me out, actually. We actually have a really good relationship. And no, they didn't. Up until Prince was like a year and 2-3 months, I was still staying with them, and we were like, she was with her parents, I was with mine. And then my decision to move out was strictly on me. And we talked about it. I talked about it with my family. It wasn't anything I was just like, deuces, like, bye, like, skirt, like, I'm out. No, we still talk on a daily. I communicate with both of my parents. So that was, again, assumption that I would assume a lot of people would have, that, oh, like, he probably got kicked out, he got disowned. Like, no, that's very easy to say, but no, it's bigger than that. And that's just another failed assumption from you guys, but hate to disappoint you. My parents did not kick me out. I got my own place on my own, and they signed off on it. Would you say that my parents kicked me out? Where's my little voice effect? Next.
You're so mean.
No, I'm
honestly, I feel like I don't agree with most of the things his parents, do, but they still accept him at the end of the day and love him as their child for all the mistakes that he's made as a Punjabi man. Like, and he's made a lot. I can't even lie to you. Like, if you think of a traditional Indian man, Harkert is not at all. I don't even know you sometimes, who you are. He's not traditional, if that makes sense. Like, he grew up in California and went to, like, Texas and, like, grew up with a bunch of, white, black, everything. A mix of everything. So when you grow up in a certain place, you just get the norms of that one place. And that's what Harkert is. I don't really know how to describe Harkert. He's a cool, funny, like, chill dude.
One thing our people do is highlight a mistake and kind of define you as that, and you can what society says.
My father.
What society says is having a kid at a very young age can ruin your life. It can do this. It can set you off. And although some of those things, like, it doesn't ruin your life, does it set you off track? Absolutely. Your responsibilities change, your priorities change for sure. But one thing our people do is use that mistake and label somebody as a bad person. Being completely transparent, there's plenty of people out there who stopped communicating with me and my family because of the mistakes the decision that I made as a 18-year-old, 19-year-old. And is that right? Of course it's not right, but society and religion are two separate things. One thing that our people try to intertwine, but if we ruled our society by our religion, our society wouldn't be as judgmental, as prejudiced, as egotistical as it is. I could go on and on about that, but that's just kind of what it is. Our society, everybody has a projection of who they want themselves to look as, what they want their kids to look at, even if half of the parents don't even know who their kids really are. Half, I would say, like 80-90%. I'd say 80-90% of the people don't even really know who their kids are, and that's the honest but sad truth. And you're talking to somebody whose parents didn't really know who their son was either, because I let on a projection to my parents, but living a completely different life behind their back. And that's just a failure of not a failure, but it's a disconnect that we have with this first generation of immigrant Punjabi parents, that it's having normal conversations that she probably had with her parents are asinine. They don't even ring a bell with my parents or other brown parents out there. They don't even know how to have some of those uncomfortable, difficult conversations, and that leads to
sometimes that's with every race.
Every race for sure, but it's a lot more prominent in the immigrant brown family is what I've seen.
Like an immigrant African family, like
immigrants in general. Right. So I'd say non-Western cultures.
Yeah.
Non-Western cultures.
Never said that word.
No, I know you wouldn't have. It's out of your vocabulary, but don't worry about it. That's why I started doing all the talking. I just kind of muted you, so let me keep doing the talking. All right. So that's just a clash that you have, and so that's kind of what the last few years had been. That's what our generation needs to kind of challenge ourselves to doing, is having uncomfortable talks with our parents, who we oftentimes fear, and that isn't the right thing to do. And again, speaking from experience, it was fear for me that I didn't really tell my parents until I was about 3-4 months into her pregnancy. I didn't tell I was scared to death to tell my family because I was under the assumption, as many of you were, that I would get kicked out. So I just started working and just like however much money I could make put together. And when and if I did get kicked out, I'd have at least something to my name. But that was far from the truth. Of course, they weren't happy with it. We talked about it. We just had a dialogue. That's all it was. And that's the one thing that we failed to do, is just talk. Talk to your kids, talk to your circle, and I guess just quit it's not ever gonna stop, but it just hopefully slowly starts to funnel away, is this nasty judging, talking, because everybody's made mistakes. Everybody's made bad decisions. Everybody's made poor decisions that they're not happy about, and to cut somebody off or to like not talk to them, distance themselves from them over a mistake, for me personally, is just
gross,
ugly. Keep going. Pathetic.
The last assumption, if you can think of one, is
there's assumptions out there that we like dropped out of high school when we had
Prince. Somebody said that we dropped out of high school or some shit. I had my son not right after, but like a few months after I graduated is when I had my son. So it's like nobody dropped out of high school. He graduated a year before me, and then now he's about to
graduate in 3.5 years. Working full time, working on a side hustle, going to school, working, going to school, intern, going full time, going to grad school, graduating in 3.5 years. But hey, I had a kid.
Yeah, that's one thing my dad told me.
I had a kid.
When I called him, when I told him that I was having a kid, he was like, Leah, don't even worry about it. Like, kids don't ruin your life unless you let them.
Right.
Like, it's actually a huge blessing.
It gets your head on straight, though, real quick. That's why, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I graduated in 3.5 years because it was like, you got to get this degree, got a kid.
I was just like, well, you know, although a lot of people like to have that teenage lifestyle, which I would love sometimes, like, sometimes I'd be sitting at home like, damn, I could be with my friends, or like I could be doing this, that all the people my age are doing. But at the end of the day, like I'd probably be going 10 times harder than most of y'all out there. But Prince really keeps me subtle. He really got my life on track. And that's one thing that I'm very, very blessed for. So, I mean, kids don't ruin your life. They just kind of make you mature a lot faster. And depending on how you handle your situation, you can either be good parents, or you can sit there and cry about it and be like, fuck, like this kid ruined my life. But at the end of the day,
he ain't ruined our lives.
At the end of the day,
he ain't ruined our lives. And by the way, he's multicultural too. That's what's craziest about it. And people ask me like, can he speak your language? Bro, he can speak. He can't speak yet. Even though he's kind of a little slow. No, he's not slow. He's not slow. He's very, very smart, but he's slow on his speech right now. But he can understand Punjabi, which I'm teaching him, and I
can too.
As per this video too, he can listen to Punjabi music and try his best
to point his fingers and raise his shoulder.
To do a little bit of Bhangra as well. That I'm teaching.
Bhangra,
yes.
Bhangra.
Yeah. So, he's been a blessing beyond words. He's already 2, which is crazy. And to think about little homie going to school soon and all that stuff.
Get bullied by ugly kids.
And beat their ass, and then his dad gonna give him $50 for every kid he beats up, and $100 for every girl he brings home, and
But anyway, we only had a few assumptions, but if you have more, we'll make a whole new video.
We won't. This is the last time. I guess it was cool, assumptions and all that. It was cool, but like. Some of y'all just ugly, and
some of y'all are so ugly.
Some of y'all are just ugly.
But we don't focus on the uglies. We focus on the positives.
There's a lot of positivity out there, which we love and enjoy, and we appreciate all the love.
And if you're one of the positives, just drop a comment, and we would love to connect with you and get
drop
to know
a comment,
you.
Drop a like, drop a subscription.
Because I love all of y'all. Like whenever I see nice comments about like, I'm proud of y'all or whatever, it makes me really happy, and it makes me want to fly y'all out to Texas and give y'all like a day to.
No, speaking about that. if anybody's out there in a very similar boat to me or seen my situation and is like, all right, man, I'm kind of dealing with something similar, my socials are always in the description and you can always reach out. I've actually made like 2 or 3 friends from YouTube, from social media videos, honestly, and then like that I've kept close contacts with. I mentioned like there's one dude up in Milwaukee who we're kind of tight because of COVID. He was supposed to come down here, but COVID kind of messed that up. But if anybody's that wants to like just, you don't have to do that.
Go.
You don't have to do that.
Sorry. Just
like talk, reach out, need some advice, need somebody to talk to. I love when people reach out. I just love it to talk, to meet new people, to engage, to share my perspective, to listen on to yours. And yeah, don't ever hesitate to ever reach out, because I look forward to those. I look forward to the new people that I can potentially meet. And then lastly, before we sign off on the video, I feel like it's a responsibility for me, being Punjabi, having family from Punjab, to address the big injustice going on with the farmers back home. Farming, or as we like to say, kheti badi, is something that is like the backbone of not only our country, but like literally our livelihoods. I know my mama, who's, we call it uncle, my mom's brother, like my mom's entire, he runs literally the whole family. He stays out there, and he's a jimindar. Kheti badi is what he does. So this has affected a lot of families. The rules and regulations that the government out there is trying to put is just complete BS. I know as much as we'd want to be out there, even though we're not out there physically, you can continue to raise awareness. No farmers, no food is a hashtag that's been going like crazy. Continue to do that. I've signed a handful of petitions, and we'll attach those down in the description, as well as donation links that you guys can contribute to, because with these some livelihoods get taken away, and farmers are so stressed out, commit suicide. Suicide rates are at an all-time high, debt's at a pretty all-time high, and all it's because of these like pretty BS rules. So if we continue, everybody who's been speaking out has been kind of crazy today. Diljit clapped back and kind of united all the Punjabi singers as well, which was awesome. Shout out to you, Diljit, man. That was awesome for you. But let's continue to hashtag no farmers, no food, man, because I guess they don't realize the livelihoods that, the food that they're ripping from people's mouths, man. It's kind of ridiculous. Ending on kind of a serious note, continue to show us love, continue to support. Again, like the subscribe button. That concludes today's video. Should we just dap up after every video?
I have work in the morning. Is that it?
He ruined our lives. Blah.